For you, O king, I have built the sword. May it protect you all of your days and guide you through dawn. Willem, bring in the sword.
Really remarkable. Excited to see what you've done.
Peace be with you. Willem!
Is that it?
This ain't gonna fit.
Wow, it's big.
This pommel's ridiculous.
Willem, just put that next to the... No, not there, not there. Alright, it's fine, just leave it. Mr. Blacksmith, it looks like you did a pretty good job with it, although I hope you did forge weld the tang to the blades. Based on your diagram that you posted to the community tab at Matt's Great Hall, honestly, it has me worried.
This may be one of the only Shwards in the world. It's very rare. It's very rare. There could be a reason for that.
This is it. This is the shield sword, or Shword. A couple of weeks ago, you may have seen the episode on Shadiversity on the Shword. Basically, he had created a shield and sword combination. It had the benefit of being both a shield that could protect you from anything that a shield can protect you against, and then also you could use that in the same way that you can wield a sword, as long as it's light enough. And I thought it was such a great idea that I wanted to give it a try and, maybe make the real thing. Now, this isn't exactly the real thing. I wouldn't really call this a prototype. It's more of a proof of concept. It's not built exactly the way that I would build it if I had maybe 3 months to do it and actually a budget. So instead, what I did is I took some plywood. Wait, let me show you.
3/4 inch plywood is the core of the Shword, and it's covered in leather and then dyed. And I carved the pommel from poplar, though in reality a hefty counterbalance would probably be made of bronze or similar metal. The handle, which is a mild steel shaft, rests in a cutout that I put on the back with a router. It's got a generous amount of construction adhesive before I then bolted it in place. Also on the back of the Shword we find this large handle made of pine. Both ends of the handle cracked a bit when I attached it, so I wrapped it in rope and hopefully it'll add a little extra strength. The one that Shad made had a similar handle on both the front and the back, but I found that the positioning on the front to be a little less useful. There's so much weight in the front that you need to position the handle more forward to better wield it.
And this grip in the middle here is made out of maple. It's 2 halves, so it does have some weakness because the 2 halves are joined. But as Shad mentioned, it would be nice to have a very lightweight material that's as strong as steel, but a lot lighter than steel. That would be sort of a space age material. About 15 years ago, I had the chance to disassemble a utility paper cutting machine. I guess that's what you call it. It was used for chopping paper. It would vibrate at a very fast rate. It would cut through enormous reams of paper, just huge reams. And these blades were tungsten carbide. It's going to maintain an edge for a very long time. And so they were basically throwing the thing away. And I said, I think I could find a use for those eventually. And so they gave them to me. The blades really should be welded to the frame or to the actual shaft of the weapon. The tang, and that thing should all be one piece, but it's not. Instead, it's kind of just cobbled together, and because of that, it lacks some strength, probably. And we're going to test it out. We're going to see what this shield sword can do. The Shword. It's legendary. It's legendary already. Can't wait to try it out. Shword is a highly prized weapon. Certainly, it would be good for opponents that are quite large, like cave trolls. Whenever they come down from the mountains, you need to have your Shword ready. And if you happen to see them huddled in a little group and there's a little light over there and maybe your ponies are missing, take your Shword with you, if you can carry it. Or if you can't carry it, get some dwarves to help you. The real question is, can I lift it? And lifting it from the back would be very difficult, although it can be done. It can be done. Yes, it can. Now the purpose of this here is to make things quite a bit easier when wielding it. So the point of balance is probably about 4 or 5 feet from the pommel. So you're gonna need a lot of help. So I've got this big
this big handle here for that purpose. So, when chopping, you've got a lot of the weight right here. Now, actually maneuvering it might be a question of strength and practice. And I really don't have either. We'll see how it goes anyway. It's heavy and unwieldy, but not more than you'd expect from something like this. Wait a minute, where's that other piece? Oh yeah, you can carry it like this too. Yeah, see? Yeah, you can carry it like this. Now this is probably how you'd wear it in battle. Certainly how you would wear it in like a photo shoot, right? On your back. And it would protect you that way, at least from the back. And in fact, even though I'm sort of large, from the side, it'll still protect me quite well if I'm turned this way towards the enemy. One thing I want to try is, can you run with this? Can you run first with it on your back, and then can you just run with it? Because that's kind of important. You would be running in battle, and you're going to need to be running with this sword. Two-hand running, much faster, much faster. Two-hand running, yes, this works. Running faster, running faster. You can run with it. Can you run with it over your head? That is a dangerous proposition, and one I'm interested in finding out the answer to.
The Shword!
You definitely are thinking about the larger opponents, the bigger ones. Cave trolls, mountain trolls, armies of orcs. Maybe if you got close enough to the Eye of Sauron, you could give it a little poke. I think you could use it in a variety of ways, but one of the best ways is really exemplified by Sauron's own style of fighting, where he will swing his mace back and forth, clearing out hordes of fighters in front of him. And that's really the method that you want to use. And you just swing it with all force in all directions as fast as possible. Balrogs, Balrogs can be a problem, especially if you're venturing through interiors of mountains. You want to make sure that you are just paying attention. The most obvious sign that you're going to be facing a Balrog is when you're surrounded by goblins, and you're surrounded on all sides by 1 million plus goblins, and you might hear some noises, some fumey noises, some smoky fire noises, and then they all scatter in all directions, and so you're no longer fighting them, and you look around and you think, this is not good. This is bad. Well, that's exactly when you need the Shword. You'll need the Shword at that point, because the Balrog has a whip, and he has fire, but your Shword can defend against fire, presumably, and I suppose it might be his might against your might, and then when it comes to the whip and grappling with it, but you also have blades, and the Balrog does not have any blades. You'll need one of these. You'll definitely need one of these. You can't face a Balrog with a sword and a staff. Look what happened to Gandalf. He didn't fare too well. I think you got through it pretty well. Chop it a little bit. Just do a little. Oh yeah. Ready? It's. I think the best thing I can say for it is that it held together. Everything's sturdy, even the blades didn't break off. I was a little worried about that, especially chopping through or trying to chop through the wood. When you hit like a hard surface like that, you're gonna put a lot of tension on the places where the blades are joined to this piece of wood. And so wasn't sure how it would react, but hey, everything is in good shape still. So that's really good. That's a really good thing. I was worried that this thing might break off, but it's held up pretty well. So I've got a few more hours of daylight. I'm gonna go looking for some orcs.
The Shword's an interesting concept, if not exactly practical. But maybe you found this video entertaining anyways. If so, leave a like, a comment, whatever. We'll do this again soon. Until then, be well, my friends.